This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform that helps you find a therapist that will match your needs. BetterHelp offers live video chats, open discussion, conversations with real therapists in real time if that's what you need. I personally love it and have used it now for almost 2 years. I would really recommend, if you need someone to talk to that is not in your family or your friend circle, that you reach out to betterhelp.com and you will receive 10% off if you use my code BGP. So again, that's betterhelp.com/BGP to find the right online counselor for you. Hi, welcome to Big Girl Pants Podcast, where we talk about health, wellness, careers, parenting, relationships, and everything in between. I am your host, April Melton. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, welcome back to Big Girl Pants Podcast. I'm April Melton, the host of the show. Today, I have a very special guest. I am so excited to talk to her. As you can tell, this is a bit of a different format. We are on Zoom, super fancy. Alli Kushner, I want you to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself in whatever capacity you would like to start.
Sure. This makes it sound like we're going to be going like I should be sitting back on a couch and where do we start?
Super very fancy interview style.
Super very fancy Zoom interview. So I'm Alli Kushner. I'm first and foremost a mom of two, and that's a title that I've taken on almost 3 years ago. So I have a nearly 3-year-old daughter and a youngest who just turned 1 in February. So first and foremost, I am a mom. I'm also a startup founder. So I have a company called BeeKyn, which is launching later this year. We're starting to get everything up and running with our marketing and our prototype, but launching officially later this year. And it's playdate matching and scheduling for parents. So it's solving 2 problems. One, how do you find your people? And then once you have your people, so even your crew who you loved and live near, how do you actually get together as parents? Because there's a lot of the mental load that goes into not just finding people, but making things happen. So we're solving those 2 problems.
I know. And like, how many text threads do you have where you're started and you're like, let's hang out? And then just
life.
We text each other every 6 months, like, let's hang out, it's just like, and then it never happens. Then
exactly.
We never leave the group chat,
Yeah, and then you just you look at the thread and you're like, oh yeah, I really wanted to get together with so and so. Or you bump into them and you're like, oh yeah, we really should get together. And it's like the ongoing joke. And as an adult before kids, it was hard. And now adding 2 little humans into the mix, it's like, whoa, okay, really hard.
And so first of all, congratulations on your 2 babies.
Thank you.
Being a mom is one of the most challenging positions that anyone can hold. So kudos to you. I want you to spell BeeKyn also for everyone listening.
Sure. And it's also, I think I put it in my name at the bottom. So hopefully that's perfect. Showing up on screen for everyone, but it's BeeKyn.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Cause most of the people who are going to listen to this are busy moms and they'll probably be doing dishes and or driving to pick up or drop off. So they'll be like, oh, interesting. I wonder how you smell that.
Amazing.
So you have 2 kids.
I do.
You work full time.
I do.
And you're a startup founder.
Also true. Yes.
Are you also a wife?
I am. And okay. I drink a lot of coffee. Let's just wrap this up with a bow.
Would you like to add anything else?
No, I think I'm good for right now.
Just a human, just a person.
I'm just a human trying to get day to day. I'm surviving, not always thriving.
Yeah, whatever. I know. Literally scraping by the skin of my teeth. Right?
That's it. Most days I shower and I view that as a win for the day.
That is a win. Okay. And if I get 2 showers in one day, that's a super win. I know.
Nice.
Crazy. So, okay. Obviously, you saw a gap in the market, right?
Yes.
For play dates and trying to meet up with your friends, etc. How do you make this so much easier? And also, what was kind of like the driver? Yeah, of course, everybody thinks that, right? Everybody thinks, oh, I should have responded to that text message 2 days ago, but I never did, or whatever. What really pushed you to want to start this?
So let me rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
The early days of becoming a parent, it was an identity crisis for me. I mean, I wanted to become a mom. Just because you want something doesn't mean it's going to be easy, the transition, and everyone deals with it in different ways. for me, I had a difficult pregnancy medically, and then after I gave birth, I spiraled into postpartum depression, which I didn't know at the time.
Mhm.
So I actually wrote about my journey recently for Motherly, and kind of
Oh,
a
wow.
personal essay.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
That's
if
amazing.
anyone, it's something that's not talked about. We're heading into May also, which is Maternal Mental Health Month, and I'm trying to be very open about my story, even though it's raw and uncomfortable. But I had a very challenging postpartum experience, to say the least, and it challenged who I was, at my core, my identity, and also I questioned whether or not I was meant to be a parent.
Yeah.
And
Do you mind
I
sharing a little bit about that? Like maybe what the
sure.
contents of the article was?
Absolutely. So, the article starts out with me standing on a New York City platform, wondering what it takes for someone to jump. Um, that's where I was
Holy
6 months.
shit.
Yeah. 6 months postpartum. I was hiding it very well, and I was falling apart. And not that I was ready to jump in front of a train, just to be very clear,
But
but
I mean, the
but
intrusive thoughts are intrusive. You know what I'm
the
saying?
intrusive thoughts are absolutely intrusive, and that was a moment for me where I was like, oh wow, this isn't me. This isn't the new me. Like, this is just no one I recognize. And there were many moments over 6 months. I had an emergency C-section. I wasn't able to breastfeed.
So
I
already
it
right
was
there, you feel like you're failing twice. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it was just terrible. And it started as the baby blues, and I think a lot of birthing parents go through that. But for me, we didn't know what we didn't know. My husband didn't know what to look out for. I was keeping it together by the tiniest little thread.
Yeah.
And I rushed back to work as soon as the doctor cleared me, because that's what I understood. I understood, work problems and spreadsheets and emails and meetings, and I kept it together during the day. But because I was working remotely, for most days, I literally just rolled out of bed, turned on my laptop, worked a full day, maybe ate some cereal out of a box, and then crawled back into bed at night. I didn't want to spend any time with my daughter. I didn't want to spend time with my husband. I didn't want to spend time with myself.
Yeah.
And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And he didn't know how to help me. At one point, I was calling realtors in New Orleans looking for cute little studio apartments, because I was just like, it got
Like,
to that.
I'm out. See you around. Everybody.
I was like, this is not for me. I lived in New Orleans for several years, loved Jazz Fest, loved Mardi Gras, loved the food.
You're like, I
was
liked it there. Let's go back there.
that sounds lovely. Let me just rewind life. And I actually called realtors, and I was taking down addresses. I was looking on Google Maps, and that wasn't a red flag to me at all.
You know what though? Okay. How long ago was this?
2 years, I guess.
2 years ago. The fact that you can joke about it and laugh about it now is commendable, right?
Thank you. But to be clear, it's scary. This is a very scary thing.
And it's so heavy, and there's real courage. I've actually had a previous guest that came on that she's been diagnosed with PMDD, and she had very, very, very serious suicidal ideations, multiple attempts. She has 3 kids. She had 3 kids in probably, I want to say 5 years.
Yeah.
So and I don't think as a society, we really contribute enough to the deficiencies nutritionally, minerally, vitamins, all of the hormonal, all of it that goes into having children. And it's just well, so-and-so went back to work at 13 weeks, or, so-and-so went back at 12, or, maybe this person is staying home, but she's killing it. She's vacuuming her house every day. She's doing her dishes. She's getting ready. She's putting makeup on. She's going to her workout class. I don't think that, as women, right, we're our harshest critics. We're the harshest judge on ourselves. Well, if she can do it, I can do it. I, muster up the strength, do the courage, whatever, right? My kids are 10 and 2. So the disparity there is pretty big. So I had a nice gap of, going through pregnancy, postpartum, et cetera.
Right.
And then doing it all over again. And I also had I had a high risk pregnancy. I had an emergency C-section, all of it. Right. So it's we just think, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it, or
and to be clear, you have no idea what anyone is going through.
No
idea. So someone on the surface, we're all about these filters. I mean, on social media and even in real life that we don't talk about the messy. And talking about the messy doesn't mean like I'm complaining about it. Like, yeah, it sucked. Absolutely. Being a mom is hard. Sometimes it sucks. I absolutely love it. Those two things can be true.
Yeah.
And that's really where my identity shift started and what led me down the road to being a parent, and not just a mom, but being a parent, a caregiver is an isolating experience.
Yes.
And everyone told me, okay, you'll eventually find your people when your kids are in kindergarten and you're in your one spot that you're going to be in. I'm like, okay, but what do I do until then?
Also, will I though? Will I?
And also, like, is that a guarantee? Like, will you sign a paper somewhere saying like there's a refund? I mean, like
You will
anything.
find your group, like you will find them. Okay,
Yeah.
they told me. Who is
And some
they?
people,
I don't know.
I don't know. I
They
don't know.
told me.
But some people are very lucky in this regard, and I want to acknowledge that maybe you have your kids in daycare and you magically find someone and you're like click and that's your soul sister, and that's lovely, and I'm happy for all of those people.
Yes.
But for myself and many other caregivers, that is just not the reality.
Right.
And there are 24 hours in a day. I've tried to figure out how to extend that. I'm told it's not possible. So like you have to work with what you got. And 24
everyone
hours,
keeps telling me no. So
everyone keeps saying no. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to pivot here. That's a no. So let me move on and see what else is available. And within those 24 hours, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your kids. Not even need. You want to do these things. This is the life you've chosen for yourself.
Yeah.
And that means 21 meals a week. Like just on that alone, 21 meals a week. And maybe you want to bathe and you want your kids to bathe and you need to
God forbid you want to work out or have a life.
Oh,
or a
please,
hobby
all of this stuff.
Anything.
And we take our kids to the playground. Even when my oldest was 6 months old, we were at the playground pushing her on the swing. Like she was a little potato. So that's what you do. Mm-hmm. And we'd have these awkward conversations with other parents. Oh, how's your kid sleeping? What bodily fluids are coming out of them? Like, what are they eating? And it was just stab a fork into my eye. It was painful.
Yeah,
and that's not how you find your people. And again, occasionally, yes, you find someone awesome and then you wind up talking about podcasts or movies or current events or whatever your jam is.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's like dating again. And it's like, I have my person. I'm just trying to find like our social network, and none of our friends who lived nearby had kids. They had no idea what we were going through.
God, that makes it so much harder too.
Exactly. And again, all of this can sound like
they're just like, can you guys go to dinner on Friday night at 7:30? And you're like,
no, I cannot. Like,
not only can I not, I don't want to because I'm tired. Okay. And 7:30 is like close to bedtime and we are just tapped.
That's a sleep window. So
it's not going to happen. Okay.
It's not happening. And all of this again can sound like, and I say this a lot now because I recently wrote an article for HuffPost about the identity shift that happens. And I titled the article, Motherhood Erased My Name and I'd Like It Back, or something like that. And to be clear, it was meant to be funny. Like, yes, there's this identity shift that happens. And I hate when I call the pediatrician's office and they're like, hi, mom, what's the date of birth? Like, yes, that pisses me off. But it's really just about the underlying identity shift that we have, especially as new parents. And I was roasted in the comments. Like, do not read those comments unless you have a therapist on speed dial and a very large glass of wine.
Really?
It's so bad? Good. It's bad, but it's so good.
You're like, I should have just put in the caption, like satire, like guys, it's supposed to be funny.
That was the lesson learned. And look, there are nuggets of truth in there. Absolutely. It's about the identity shift. But people took me at face value. And look, if you don't know me and you don't know, like, I'm a New Yorker and I'm sassy and
then they say what, like, oh, you chose this, like, this is your, you chose
it.
To have
you're
children.
A narcissist, you're a Karen, all the things, whatever. Like, whatever. Put yourself out there. People are going to have their thoughts and they're totally entitled to them. But going back to the identity shift, I recognize my story is not everyone's, but hopefully a lot of us do see little nuggets or glimmers in other people's experiences, even if it's like the tiniest little one. And I started to realize this isolation, this idea that as adults, we want to fill our cup with social interactions that are meaningful. And we also want to give our kids those interactions for developmental reasons, for social development, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
That being able to do those things at the same time is not only efficient. I'm an operations person in my day job.
You're like, I'm thinking
wink, but like the efficiency aspect of it, of like, why can't I do both? I need to
Right.
maximize my
Yeah.
time. So BeeKyn started from that little nugget, and I went around to playgrounds in New York City with my kids, obviously hanging out. And I went up to parents and I was like, "Hey, can I ask you some questions? Would you mind taking a survey?" And I found that like 9 out of 10 parents, like almost everyone I asked, and they didn't know me from a hole in the wall. They had the same reactions. Yes, it's hard. I just put my head down. Oh, I have a couple of people. It's hard to get together. Kids are always sick. Schedules are crazy. Or no, I haven't really found anyone I click with. I'm really hoping when my kid starts daycare or nursery school or whatever. And I was just like, why are we like,
Well, and
why?
I think that too, it's like, not only do we not culturally have children the way we used to have children, but like, we don't really have our tribe anymore.
Yes,
And there's a good and a bad side to that, right? Because
absolutely.
essentially what our tribe used to be was like our family, extended family,
Yeah,
and sometimes we don't like those people. Okay.
totally.
Sometimes those people are not very kind to us. I was thinking about this today because recently I had something happen, and like the first people that I reached out to was not my family. It was like my chosen family, right? Like my friends, the people that have been in my life for 20 something years or longer. I'm 30, I'll be 38 this year. So it's like for 20 plus years, maybe even
They've been your people.
25 years. Yeah, those are my people. So it's like those were the people that I reached out to first. Well, and before, let's say, I don't know, let's say in the 50s, right? If we just go back that far, like
Intergenerational homes.
intergenerational, you have family members nearby. Everybody lives in the same community. Everybody lives in the same, maybe not the same neighborhood, but everybody lives in the same town, the same area. So it's like when you're getting together with your family, your friends, you have cousins, uncles, aunts, etc. All of this family. And now like we have none of it. So again, not only are we not talking about the struggles that we're having, and I mean, listen, even if you're Miss America, right? There are hard parts about being Miss America. Like
There's
we're allowed,
hard parts of everything.
yes, and we're allowed to say like. My boyfriend makes fun of me when I say we're allowed. He's like, "Did you get that from therapy?" I'm like, "Yes, I did."
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. But it's like we're allowed to. I mean, every single thing, no matter what, chocolate cake. There's a good and a bad part of it. Like when I eat it, it's absolutely delicious. Afterwards, I feel like a bag of, crap.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's okay to say,
These two things can exist together.
yes. And it's like, it's okay to be like, I absolutely am madly in love with my children. Also, parenting is the hardest unpaid internship I have ever participated in my life. Like,
Yeah.
and
what I hate is that people say, well, it's been done forever. Therefore,
doesn't mean it's not sucky. Like,
and it's also, I wonder if we were to like rewind back to our mothers going through it or our parents
how
going
did
through
they
it.
cope?
Or did they just, again, shove it under a rug and they moved on because that's what you did. And
I
I
can't
don't want
help.
my kids to see that.
Yes, and I can't help but think about all the women, like, think like circa Mad Men era. Like, what were they doing? They're drinking cooking sherry while they're making dinner because they're completely losing their minds. Like,
Yeah.
and then, let's say the husband is out having an affair or whatever. That's how he's coping. Like, everything was just, swept under the rug. Like, no one talked about it, or it was just
We just need to be more honest with the situation.
dude, and it's okay. Like, it's okay to be honest. It's okay to say, like, this is challenging. It's okay to be transparent with your friends and your family and, those people in your circle, because the worst part is where you ended up.
And
Even
I
if you
wound up in
weren't,
that spot because I was shoving it under a rug because, put on your big girl pants, and deal with
literally,
it.
put it on,
Literally.
suck it up,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And it's like, so, okay, so the worst part is you end up there. What happens if you would have taken the next step? What happens if you would have made that? And then everyone would have said, I had no idea. I had no idea that she was struggling. I had no idea she was suffering. I had no idea that it was hard for her.
And that's why it took me so long afterwards. And I went through this again with my second daughter in a different way, the second pregnancy. But that's why I thought I was going to sweep it under the rug too.
Mhm.
Like, okay, early parenthood is hard. I went through my little blip and now I'll move on. And I started to realize like this part of my story, if me sharing it in some way helps one person, if I annoy 10 people, but I help one person just by knowing that this is a possibility with your hormones after you give birth or while you're pregnant, like
Yes.
I will consider it like I have done something.
Yeah.
And if BeeKyn can help people, especially in early parenthood, it's not only designed for early parenthood, but especially in early parenthood, if it could help with that feeling of isolation and to help people find their village and to bridge the gap between tech enabled and in real life, again, then we're doing something. We're cooking with butter, as my grandmother would say.
Yeah. Go ahead, Julia Childs. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for BeeKyn, it's been me pouring my love and reflection, I would say, and getting to know other people. And again, it's men and women. It's all different types of caregivers. And we've built BeeKyn to be, there's 3 caregiver spots in your account. So families come in all different shapes and sizes.
That's
you can co-parent. You could have an involved grandparent. You could have an auntie who every Saturday is taking your kids to the park. And what about their people? So my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they're very involved and they love taking our kids out. Wouldn't it be awesome if they could take our kids to the playground and find another set of grandparents who have kids roughly the same age as my kids that they as caregivers have things in common with? How cool.
So cool. And then you feel, and then ultimately, I mean, obviously this is the goal, right? You just feel less alone. Like we find so much validation and affirmation in being around people that are like us.
And it's, feel less alone, but like just to hone in on some of the benefits. If you want a parent to buy something, tell them that it's good for their kids, right? Because we don't take care of ourselves. Like need new bras, but my kids come first with their sparkling
What's
pants.
A new bra? What's a new bra? What's that?
I saw a meme about this recently that said like, Mom, you don't need to buy that new, shiny tutu for your kids. Like what you need is a new bra. And I felt that in a very hard way.
I know.
Very, very, but kids also learn by seeing what their parents do. And this martyrdom of sacrificing your own social needs. Your kids feel that and they internalize it. So seeing you have hard conversations, seeing you build relationships, seeing you have a life outside of them, you're modeling what it's like to create this whole existence. So parenting or nurturing your children isn't just about teaching them to write and to ride a bike and to be good humans. It's also how do you interact with the world around you? And we need to model that.
And I mean, they're tiny computers. They do exactly what they're programmed to do. And you can
not my toddler. Not my toddler. I'm sorry. No.
Oh, I know that. Mine's wild too. We just hit that epic 2-year-old stage. It's
welcome. Yeah.
It's a shit show.
More like a dumpster fire, but yes.
Dude, he's like, he came home like last week or 2 weeks ago or something. And I was talking to him at the table and he just does this. I was like, oh,
that's a look.
Oh, okay. That's a vibe. All right, cool. Guess we're just going to match it. We're just going to match this energy right now. Okay, buddy. But yeah, I mean, like, it's funny because I'm sure that maybe you haven't heard it, right? But I'm sure that there are some people that wonder just who you think you are, right?
I've heard it.
Pursuing some dreams, some goals, some aspirations outside of your children, outside of parenting, outside of your career, right? You never really hear the good stuff about how they're so proud of you, about how, they just think that it's amazing. It's more of like, for me personally, from my experience, this platform, it's like, who do you think you are? Who's going to want to listen to you? Who cares about your ideas? Like those are the types of things that I've heard for a really long time. I've been doing this podcast since I think we started in early 2018. So a while back. Yeah. So it's like, but at the end of the day, no matter, how many dishes are in my sink, no matter how much laundry I need to catch up on, like whatever. Right. And I'm twice divorced. So I'm a single mom of 2 kids and working full time. And I have this podcast. So it's like, no matter what, at the end of the day, it's like, if my daughter, right, who's 10, sees a mother who, no matter what, pursued her dreams, goals, and passions, my daughter's going to feel empowered to pursue her dreams, goals, and passions too.
Absolutely.
And like, Not saying that I'm perfect, not even saying that I'm like, I'm just a human and a mom out here just trying to do it just exactly like everyone else. But it's like, if I don't show her that, and if I'm not her advocate, who's going to show her that? Like, maybe someone else? Like, no, I'm the mom. Like, I'm the mom. I'm the blueprint. I'm the one that she gets to learn from, good and bad, right? If I do things that are not necessarily good or whatever, like, these are my children. They are going to directly learn from me. And that is why I think too, that like with building my own tribe, which I'm fascinated by this, like by BeeKyn, because finding more and adding more positive into my life via the people that I'm around and my children are around, like is a win-win. Like, it's not a loss.
So I didn't put this little area. So for those who are like, oh, I have my people, I'm good. BeeKyn has the second component where you sync your schedule, your calendar for you and your kids to BeeKyn, and you can see all of your friends' schedules. So if they're on BeeKyn, so you're able to instantaneously book a play date, put the location, sync it to your calendars. The final step in all of this is that it's a reward system. So whether you're going on a play date with your best friend down the street or someone that BeeKyn matched you with, you earn points, and those points are redeemable for discounts and product with our partners. So for those with young kids, think discounts on music classes and baby gym, or different types of, hair products or clothing.
That's incredible.
You're getting rewarded for making your life easier. That's the goal, because parents should be rewarded. Let's just be clear.
Where's my prize bucket? You know what I mean? When do I
get a cookie? You get a cookie and a gold star.
When do I get to pick a prize from the treasure chest? I don't get to do that.
I will send you one at the dentist. You get one at the dentist. My daughter got a prize at the dentist, and I was like, "This is next level." They had like all right, gumball machines, but with toys, and the slime came out, and I wanted to die. I was like seeing slime on my
slime.
You don't give a 2-year-old slime. Just like, don't do it. What you said though about modeling behavior for your daughter, I feel like for so long, women in particular, like we've shrunk ourselves to fit someone else's idea of what we should be. And maybe men deal with this too. I'm not a man, so I can't speak to their experience, but I know for certain it's definitely been my experience. And once you start advocating for yourself in whatever way that looks like for you, so for you having this amazing podcast and modeling things for your daughter, for someone else, it could just be like sharing your opinions. Like if you're in a conversation and sharing what you really think about something, when you are that honest about who you are and what you want and showing up, someone else is going to have thoughts, and they're going to try to make themselves louder than you. And that's kind of how you know you're doing it right, because
but it sucks. Okay, Alli, it's terrible. And you think that when you start pursuing your dreams, people are going to support you, and they don't.
Please go read the HuffPost comments.
I will, man. I will.
Anyone who reads them, please just send me a message afterward. I swear I'm not a bad person. I swear.
You're getting my debrief after reading those comments.
Please.
And you know what the saddest part is too, I think, and as someone who is a founder, you'll find this too. The saddest part is it's the people that you really thought were on your team and that were going to be supporting you that are like your harshest critics. And I'm like, wow, like, and I don't know if you would consider yourself someone who's positive and affirming and uplifting to other people, but I am, and I support people in whatever venture they want to do, but they don't feel the need to do that for me. And that's okay. Like, it's okay. I'm not going to stop anything I'm not going to stop pursuing a goal because someone else doesn't think that I should, or doesn't think that I have the I guess the qualities or the skill or the talent needed. Like for the most part, it's just like starting, like
you have to start somewhere.
If I didn't start, like what else would I be doing?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like to think that I'm a positive and uplifting person. I think we all have room to grow. We're all the main character in our own stories, right?
Yes.
And becoming a mom, you realize, oh wait, now I'm the sidekick.
Right.
And that's an interesting shift. But more or less, we're the main characters. And so, yeah, it's a lot of me and my story and what I'm doing. and having empathy and taking interest in what other people are doing, we could all do it better. No matter how good you are at it, we could all do it
Genuine,
better.
authentic interest. I mean, and honestly, I think that's one thing that I can attribute to this podcast is that I genuinely do. Like,
I love
when I
that.
looked at, like, when you reached out to me, or when Ashley made the introduction, like, so right now I'm in Reno. So Ashley lives close to here. So when I was able to interview her, I went to, I think it's a Truckee, California, which is like halfway. And I got to meet her in person. I would have never like gotten to do that had I not been genuinely interested in Sundays. And like the smallest world ever, my sister-in-law had been recently laid off, and I made an intro with her and Ashley, and she got a job.
Oh, I
Like,
love that.
and just like, but again, if I wasn't genuinely interested, if I didn't actually care about what she was doing, what her company was, what kind of, people that she looks to employ. And I mean, she employed 90% of her workforce is women and mothers, like mothers who are too busy.
Isn't that amazing?
Incredible, incredible. Mothers who are too needed at home to go into an office and work full time, but they also want to contribute and have something outside of their children. And like,
yeah, it's amazing.
Incredible.
And I think I found you through it. So Ashley and I we're in some of the same groups, and we've connected, and she's absolutely amazing. I love what she's building with Sundays. I found you because I was looking through, and I kid you not, I was Googling like kick-ass mom podcasts or something like that, like moms with podcasts.
Thanks, don't make me cry.
Something like that. And I think I saw that you both were connected on LinkedIn, or I forget like how the stars are aligned, but I listened to an episode of yours. Don't ask me which one because I can barely remember what I had for breakfast, or if I had breakfast for that matter.
Same.
And I just sent you a message on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like I just randomly was like, I need to know who April is. This chick seems cool.
Thank you.
And that's honest. This is how this started. And you never know unless you put yourself out there. That I had no expectation of you saying, hey, you want to come on my awesome podcast?
I as soon as I saw your profile, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm looking through everything and I'm like, oh, absolutely. This is right up my alley. And I was thinking too, when you're talking about, excuse me, when you're talking about like meeting up with your current friends, like I have a friend that, I mean, we you know this now because you have kids, you have 2 kids. The only time I get to see them is like the birthday roulette.
Yep.
Like the birthday weekends, we go to see our kids at their birthday parties, and that's it. And it's like, dude, we've got to do better. We've got to do more.
But the mental load of planning it is too much. It's not that there is no time. It's that you don't have the time to find the time.
No.
Which sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
It's so real.
Yeah.
And like just the friends where we're like, oh my gosh, we should hang out. And every time we hang out, we feel completely restored and better and rejuvenated, and like our batteries are charged. Like even when you do that, it's like, okay, so I'll see you next year at your kid's birthday party. Like, why is that so hard? Why is that the case like all the time? But I think your idea is just outstanding.
Thank you. I'm so excited about it. And I think I'm most excited that it resonates with as many people as it does. And even more excited if it can help parents and caregivers reclaim some of their time, which again, finite resource, we all need more of it. And also to make lives more fulfilling by, whether you consider, and I don't consider myself an extrovert. Like I'm a homebody.
That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. So,
but you can feel and see the value in hanging out with people who are similar to you.
Yeah. And it doesn't I'm not talking every day. I'm not talking like going out for drinks. I'm talking about if you're taking your kid to the playground, how cool would it be to be like, oh, my kids are having snack pouches and they're over there on the swings and I get to talk to this awesome person.
Yes. I remember there was one time I took my daughter to a birthday party where all the kids were from her class, and like the classmate had invited the entire class, and that was essentially the entire birthday party. I talked to a girl's mom for 3 hours, the entire party. Like she's a therapist, and we just connected, and it was just like nonstop. And I was like, if every kid's birthday party was like this, I swear, like
How many times have you seen her since?
Never.
And there you go.
Not in that context. Like not in that, I have not seen her at a birthday party. The only time that I've seen her is like school pickup and drop off. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we did not plan this, but that is the point.
That's what I'm saying. Like she has 3 kids. I have 2 kids. Her kids are doing this activity. My kids are doing this activity. You know what I mean? Like everybody's so busy, but like that one exchange, knowing that she's like the type of person, cause when you meet people and you're like,
your people.
That's my people. Like we can talk about how outrageous our children are, how ridiculous 4th grade is, just like all of it. And we just connect on every level. And it's like, those are the people that the same people that invest their time into you and you invest into them. Like those are the people that you want to be around. Yeah.
And not that I'm trying to sell anyone on BeeKyn, but
please do promote yourself. Thank you.
So there are, I'm not going to shrink. I'm going to, there are 2 additional features. Head up high. I'll sit up nice in my chair. Here. Right. So if you are on BeeKyn and you meet somebody at school pickup, at a birthday party, at a playground, and they are not on BeeKyn, you can still send them an invitation.
See?
You get their number, you put in all the details, you send it to them, they accept or decline, and you still get rewarded for that play date. And there's also a travel function. So if you are traveling with your kids to wherever for the weekend, you're going to see grandma and grandpa, you're going on vacation, you still want to get together with other families, you turn on the travel button and we can match you with local families or people who are there at the same time as you.
I love it. I'm so here for it. Oh my goodness. Just like the possibilities,
endless.
Dude, what if you're like going on vacation and you're like, going to like Florida or like, and you're like, we're going to Disney. Like, are you guys going to Disney too? Like, so cool.
There's just so many
limitless.
I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about it.
You should be. This is so exciting. Like, how fun. And like, as we know, women make 80% of the purchasing decisions. Women make a lot of the decisions that are happening in your house. Mm-hmm. So like, why wouldn't you push this to moms and women? Like,
I get really upset. Maybe not everyone feels this way, and that's totally fine. I'm just going to put it out to the world, but we talk about men needing to step up more. And I definitely think that there's improvement that can be done across the spectrum for all of us.
I think it's hard to make blanket statements like that.
It's very hard to make blanket statements with that, but also we're not building tools that make the workload equal.
Right.
So if you're going to say this is for moms, okay, but if you want dads to step up too, where's their help? Where are the things to inspire them?
Who's supporting dad? And is dad going to feel comfortable going to the play date when it's only moms? Like,
I know a couple of dads here in New York City I've connected with, and they're stay-at-home dads.
Yeah.
And they've said it's super rough that if there's like a group of nannies, which is very common in New York City, awkward, they're not going to want him around. And the same thing with moms, that I think they've carved out their niche at this point. But can you imagine being a dad with a couple of kids and be like, hey, can I come along with you moms? Like, you want to find
hey, invite me too.
Hi, I'm here. And even on the weekends, like my husband, my husband's out with our 2 kids at the playground as we're recording this.
So you can do this interview, right?
So I can do this interview, and he's a dad. I'm not going to say he's a great dad. Like he's a dad, and he's doing his dad thing, and he's amazing at it.
Yeah.
And there are not enough resources to support dads.
I mean,
because
do they even have changing tables in the bathrooms?
Some, yes.
You know what I mean?
Some, but not enough. Not enough.
Like, they can be competent parents too. We can like attest that they are competent parents as well. Like, it's not just all on us. Yes,
exactly. And a lot of this is a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way. Like when I see that diapers are recommended by 90% of moms, I was like, my husband knows if a diaper is absorbent or not. Like,
or if we have blowouts or not. Okay,
like,
dad knows how to change a diaper.
Actually, better than me, because that's daddy's job. I'm kidding. But like, he knows if a stroller is easy to handle because he's also using it. It's not just me pushing a stroller. And these are absurd claims that we make because women are the primary purchasers for household items.
It's true. But then it's also, we have like the martyrdom, right? Because we're like, we have to do all these things. We have to do this, or this is required of me, or whatever. Or because socially or culturally, women have been the person to take care of the children. And it's like, no,
Exactly.
man, this is equal. If we're both working, even if we're not both working, we can both parent, that we can have. And I'm very fortunate. I'm twice divorced, like I said, but both of my children's fathers are extremely competent fathers. Like
Amazing.
diapers, bottles, waking up in the middle of the night, strollers, everything. There's not like a question to me that is like outside of the scope of regular parenting. Like,
You made a decision to have children together, you collectively, and now the resources need to reflect that.
right.
And there are different needs, without a doubt, different levels of support, and changing tables is definitely the great unifier.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I feel like we could talk about this for hours.
Absolutely. But I'm just honestly, I'm fangirling. I'm so thrilled that you
fangirling too.
that you invited me.
I know. And now I just need to come to New York.
Please come.
Yes,
the Big Apple welcomes you. Well, maybe don't take the subway on your first day, but most of the Big Apple.
I just won't take the subway alone. I'll just bring my boyfriend with me. He's gone plenty of times. He knows it. I don't, but he does.
Have you been?
No, never. I know. I gotta come.
You gotta come.
I'm a Texan, and I'm like, branching out as far as traveling. I've been trying to expand.
Come on east.
Yeah, I'm so down. Oh, for sure. I've been to Massachusetts. I've been to Boston. I've been to Connecticut, Maine, etc. I just never been to New York. And
check it off the list.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Bring your kids, go to the Museum of Natural History, go to the Bronx Zoo, see a Broadway play. I mean,
I know. Limitless. Again, limitless.
Love it.
Well, I want to make sure. So when is it launching?
So we're going to be launching the app later this year, but right now we have a wait list. So like I said, we have about 1,000 families nationwide and growing on the wait list, free to join. And you'll get early access if you join the wait list, as well as some cool perks that we have coming up. So follow us on social media.
How do they find the wait list? How do they get on the wait list? Like all of that.
Yeah. So, and I can send you all of this information, but our website is beekyn.co, BeeKyn.co. Waitlist is right there. And we're at beekyn.co on Instagram. Okay. Perfect. And you can also follow me on LinkedIn for working parent content and all of
my musings
journey, all of my parental musings.
I love it though. I can't wait to read those articles.
I expect
the funny thing is, I'll say this is the last thing I'll say. It's just hilarious that like, even, whether if you just want to say professionally, right? Like, I think altogether as a society, we should be more forgiving and like understanding of all people, right? Whether you're a parent, not a parent, etc., whatever the case may be. But I find that my career before parenting versus my career now with parenting, the expectation is so much higher, even though I literally have 2 full-time jobs. And I think that's for men and women alike. Like whether you're, dad's at home with the kids, mom's doing whatever, and vice versa. I think that some of the expectations are just outlandish. And I think that
absolutely. And at the end of the day, no matter what your deal is, if you're a parent, not a parent, if you're whatever your work situation is, we're all dealing with our own shit. And you don't know what you don't know, and we don't know anything. So if we could just all go through life with as much empathy as possible and assuming good intent, like maybe we'd all be a little bit happy.
I think you're right. I would have to agree. And also just like, at the end of the day, like none of this shit really matters. Like we're all just kind of winging it. We're all going to die one day. Like we're all just trying to do our best every single day. Like it's okay.
We're trying to do our best. I forgot to add coffee. So you can have empathy and like also coffee.
Oh my God. The limitless amount of caffeine that I require.
Amen.
I know. Thank you so much for coming. I've really enjoyed talking to you. And I want everyone, obviously, I will make sure that in the show notes that everyone has the link to your website and Instagram and LinkedIn. I'll include all of them.
Amazing.
And then on top of that too, I want you to come back when you officially launch.
Oh,
That way
thank
you can kind of
you.
like have a launch episode so everybody can know that it's out. But in the meantime, not only am I going to recommend this episode to all of my friends, I'm also just going to like send them the website and be like, hey, check
Thank
this out.
you.
Of course. Yes.
I
Yes.
appreciate
Let's
it.
grow
If
your
any,
Texas division, you know?
oh, we actually have a good
Okay,
number of
good.
people on our wait list from Austin and the DFW area.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm in
Um,
DFW too. I'm
Same.
networking and I talk to moms and you know, like attracts like, right? Like most of the people in my network
Absolutely.
are moms and parents that are working and busy. Most of my clients are parents. Like
Yeah.
all yeah.
If I could just leave the listeners with one final thing for anyone
Please.
who is a mom, a parent, or potentially going to be a parent for maternal mental health struggles or any mental health struggles, you don't have to do it alone. And it's okay to seek out help, whatever that looks like for you. So my story kind of began in many ways with a very terrifying situation. And I'm always happy to talk about with anyone who ever wants to reach out. But it's taboo, but it doesn't need to be.
But it got better, right?
Got better.
Right. I think that's like the big takeaway too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, April.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Girl Pants Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, issues, gossip, rumors, please feel free to send me an email at biggirlpantspod.com. You can find me on Facebook at Big Girl Pants Podcast and or Instagram at Big Girl Pants Pod. I'm too millennial to do Threads or Twitter.